got underway. As you can see, they've got a fantastic array of machines. Peugeot 205s, Fiesta XR2s, Nova SRIs, even Suzuki Swifts in the mix. It's going to be a fantastic race. But it's Matt Rosier who came first. It wasn't easy for him. You're a bit nervous coming into this one?
Not too nervous, not too nervous. Lee Scott's definitely gunning for me today. He said he'll give me to the first corner before he tries overtaking me.
Well, let's see. Lee Scott certainly one to watch for from 5th on the grid, having challenged for a win in race 1. It's Rosier and Kayser row 1, ahead of Phil Potts and Cooper row 2. Lee Scott on his own on row 3, because there's no Marcus Ward, ahead of Derek Rosier and Scott Ward next in line. Andrew Thorpe is one to watch for from 9th on the grid, alongside Steve Groom. Likewise, he made good progress in the first race. Another 27-car grid, although we are missing that one, as I said, of Marcus Ward, we believe, for the start of this one, but everyone else hopefully should be there. Well, race 1 was very entertaining indeed. A win for Matt Rosier, but you could argue that Lee Scott, who was significantly quicker than Matt in the second half of the race, could have won had the checkered flag not come out when it did. The lights go out though ahead of race number 2, and we are away and racing, and Matt Rosier makes a really good start from pole position. Kayser slots through to second place, but here comes Lee Scott. Well, we said that Lee would be aggressive at the start. He's already 3rd, and he's trying to go around the outside for 2nd. It doesn't quite work out though, so Lee Scott will have to settle in line in 3rd. In fact, that may not happen actually, because he's also now been hung out to dry on the run up toward Druids. Andy Philpotts is back up the inside of him, and yeah, Philpotts will go back through, so a great launch from Lee Scott, but he only had the outside of the road to go to, and that was always likely to be fraught with risk. So they drop down the hill in towards Greenfield Bend for the first time, and it is Matt Rosier that leads the way. It is Martin Kayser 2nd, it's Andy Philpotts looking for 3rd, in 3rd, looking for 2nd, as they go down in towards 30s. Oh, there's been a door banging, oh, more contact there. That was an aggressive move, but Philpotts goes through. Now, is there any damage done to either car? Let's hope not. Lee Scott now latches onto the tail of the Martini liveried car of Martin Kayser, trying to find a way through. There's a really fast starting Pete Morgan from 12th on the grid. I think that's about 7th place for the XR2 coming onto the straight, and he's not done yet, because now he's up the inside of Derek Rosier and gaining another spot. Side by side between Lee Scott and Martin Kayser, and Scott on the outside line gets the car in front before he hits the brakes, and then bravely chops across into the apex of the corner to take over 2nd place. But as we saw in race 1, the jostling going on behind is playing beautifully into the hands of Matt Rosier, who is just extending this massive lead over the rest of the field. Oh, Andrew Thorpe gets hung out to dry there at Druids corner. We're on board now with Derek Rosier. You can see Matt Rosier well off in the distance ahead of this battle for 2nd place between the number 11 car, the red and yellow car of Andy Philpotts, and the all-white machine of Lee Scott. Then it's Ed Cooper 4th, and 5th place from 12th on the grid is Pete Morgan. We're not even 3 laps into the race, and the XR2, not showing its age one bit, is looking quick. In fact, he looks quicker than the cars in front. Then it's Kayser ahead of Scott Ward, both of whom have lost out at the start, ahead of Derek Rosier and Andrew Thorpe. Onto the start-finish line we go, riding on board with Scott Ward, the similar car of Martin Kayser in front of us, and Ward is close enough maybe to have a go on the brakes into Paddock Hill Bend, is he? Has a little think about it, can't quite do it. In front I saw that Andy Philpotts was defending and runs wide on the extra Paddock Hill Bend. As a result, up the inside line will go Lee Scott, and Lee Scott trying to take 2nd place away, does take 2nd place away. There's a bit more paint traded. Don't leave me out, says Pete Morgan. He tries to get up the inside of Ed Cooper there into Druids. It doesn't quite pay off, so change of 2nd place. Lee Scott into 2nd, and he's got that 2nd place about the same sort of time that he did in race 1. He'll be looking now to try and chase down the race leader. So Matt Rosier leads. It is Lee Scott 2nd, it's Philpotts 3rd, Cooper 4th, Morgan there in 5th place, then everybody else streaming through. Look how closely packed the field is. There is Marcus Ward. So Marcus Ward, the black and red number 55 car, was due to start 6th, has actually started right at the back of the field, so he did get out there, but clearly late to the grid and had to start from the back. Back out of clearways we go, on board here with Scott Ward as we're still challenging Martin Kayser. Up the road I can see that Pete Morgan was challenging Ed Cooper as well for a 4th position as they made their way towards Paddock Hill Bend. Don't think we'll see any change between these two, but has there been a change of 4th? No, Ted Cooper hangs on in the early 90s factory Vauxhall touring car liveried Vauxhall Nova SRI. Ward back up the inside there into Druids, and Martin Kayser turns in, closes the door. There's a bit more contact. Martin Kayser being biffed and bashed left, right and centre here. There's an apology though from Scott Ward as he vows not to do that again, and in the end settles back in line, no change on position. Right, this is the fight, that was the fight for 3rd. This is a resumption of the fight between Ward and Kayser. Kayser, who drove really well to third place in a podium in race 1. Things not going quite to plan in race 2. Same really goes for Andrew Thorpe, who was 5th in race 1 in the black and green Citroen, but he's now sort of buried back in the midfield. Likewise, Steve Groom there, the blue and white XR2. And in fact, Thorpe a bit slow out of clearways, and that Citroen does struggle in a straight line traditionally. And Daniel Fillingham therefore in his blue and yellow Peugeot 205 GTI. Drive straight past down straight, so another place lost unfortunately for Andrew Thorpe. Andrew, multiple race winner in this category actually, just struggling I think as that car gets older and some of the other cars, the newer Fiestas start to creep in. He's just struggling that little bit, but he's doing a good job nonetheless, and on his day more than capable of fighting for top 5s and podiums, as we saw in race 1. Back out of clearways, whoops, that's Derek Rosier running a bit wide there. Needs to be careful not to keep doing that, otherwise he'll be given time penalties for exceeding the track limits. Ned Cooper now as he chases down Andy Philpotts. This is for third place then, so Philpotts has third, Cooper is 4th, and Pete Morgan there in the XR2 is 5th, and looking to try and get past the pair of them if at all possible and get on the podium. It's been a while since we had an XR2 on the podium in the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Hatch Championship. Let's see whether he can manage it. Of course, the Nova, a similar age car. Oh, that's a very, very high-speed line through paddock, but it was high, wide and handsome there for Pete Morgan. He was nowhere near the apex because he carried so much speed into the turn. Kind of Druids in towards Graham Hill Bend, and Ed Cooper looking as though he's maybe a little bit quicker here than Andy Philpotts, but can he actually find a way through? On board with Derek Rosier here, in front of him is the blue and yellow Peugeot of Daniel Fillingham that had been pulling away, but that little mistake he just made at Graham Hill Bend means the whole group of cars was closed back in, and Marcus Ward was a part of that group as well. Marcus, of course, trying to get himself a top 10, having, for some reason, started from the back of the grid, having qualified 6th. Here's this third place battle back across the line. What is the comparison in straight line speed here? You'd expect the Nova to struggle, but actually he's keeping pace with the Fiesta in front. He's pulling away from the XR2 behind, so that Nova looking fairly rapid, certainly well sorted. It bounces its way through Paddock Hill Bend. Can't quite make the move stick there, goes to the inside, back to the outside again. Now that risks leaving the door open for Pete Morgan though, and Pete knew that, dived to the inside, tried to fill the gap, but he's just a bit too far back to do that. He's not too far back now though to Graham Hill Bend to have a go. You don't really do that much braking into this corner in these classic stock hatch cars. You carry quite a lot of mid-corner speed. Cars hold the road remarkably well. Oh, and look at that, cars either side. Scott Ward to the inside and Steve Groom to the outside. Well, Ward gets past the pair of them, and Steve Groom, I think, will possibly gain one place out of all of that as well. Further side-by-side action further back, that's the little Suzuki that we mentioned earlier on, the only car running a 1300cc engine of Craig Robertson, and he's just dived up the inside of the number 25 machine there into Surtees, sorry 26, beg your pardon, Paul Brock, and now goes past Andrew Thorpe. Now this tells me there's a definite problem for Andrew Thorpe, because that Citroen, yes I said it struggles in a straight line sometimes, but not that much. That's definitely an issue there for Andrew Thorpe, and he may have to winter retirement. He's doing everything he can just to stay out of the way at the moment. Paul Brock here coming back at Craig Robertson, and then you've got everybody else just filing in behind. But oh yes, look at that smoke from the back of Andrew Thorpe's car, that's a shame. Now let's hope that's not dropping any fluid on the track. Well, lots of curb taken there by Paul Brock. Yeah, Thorpe, I fear, will be on his way potentially into the pit lane to retirement pretty soon. Paul Rosier is the blue and orange Peugeot behind. Towards the end of another lap comes this little group, showing though again that the battles are just as intense throughout the field, not just the fighting at the front that's close quarters. Throughout the midfield, wherever you are, whatever car you've got somebody to race with. All the cars run within the same class as well in classic stock hatch racing, so it's a good job that it's competitive throughout the field, because you don't even have class victories to go and race for. You're just really racing for every position that you can get, which is exactly what Scott Ward is doing here. He still can't find his way past Martin Kayser, and Martin just not showing the pace that he did in race 1, but still if he can get a 5th place finish out of this, he'll be fairly happy. Graham Hill Bend. Oh, it's all changed in front. Look at that, Pete Morgan. Pete Morgan has got third place, so Morgan has gone past both Ed Cooper and Andy Philpotts. Remember, it was Cooper who was pressuring Philpotts last time we checked in with them. But I think something might have happened up at Druids and Graham Hill Bend there, which has allowed the XR2 through into a podium position. Now Ed Cooper's getting frustrated because he'll feel that having been on to maybe gain a place, he's now lost a place. He won't be happy about that. Meanwhile, these two Fiestas we've been following, Kaiser and Scott Ward, have both been caught now by Daniel Fillingham. So Fillingham making this a three-way battle as well for 6th position, 6th, 7th and 8th positions, these three cars, and Fillingham has a look at the inside there of Scott Ward into Druids. Scott didn't really know whether he could turn in then, he chose not to, ran a bit wide just to avoid any contact. That car has been understeering a little bit as well though, all weekend long. You can see he turns into Graham Hill Bend, the car just doesn't seem to want to turn in. He is getting it through the corners, but only just there. Look, the red and green car behind, that's Marcus Ward. So Marcus Ward from 25th or 26th there or thereabouts on the grid has made some excellent progress up the order. Real pressure being applied here by Fillingham onto the back of Scott Ward. And as they come out of clearways there, you can see the red and black and green Fiesta XR2i closing in, getting ever larger in their mirrors, and there's time yet, with a couple of laps still to go, for Marcus Ward to get himself well and truly inside the top 10. Now he's in the top 10, he could get himself into the top 6. That marker stays out of the way to the right hand of the circuit there, into paddock. Down the hill they go, and as Marcus Ward got the time to get there, I think he'll get there, but has he got time to get past them? He'll be hoping they all start tripping over each other in front of him, and he can maybe use that as his opportunity to get through. Leaders have already gone through towards the end of another lap. We are slowly but surely inching towards the end of this 13-minute plus 1 lap race. Marcus Ward well out over the curbs there. You can see Steve Groom in the background as well, the blue and white XR2. What progress can Marcus Ward make? What progress can Scott Ward make? Can he find a way past Martin Kaiser? He hasn't been able to in the first 11 minutes of the race. What about in the last 2 or 3? Back onto the pit straight they go. There's Marcus. He's caught Fillingham now. He pulls to the outside line. Now, who's got the grunt in a straight line across the start-finish line? Let's see. 2 by 2 now. You've got the 2 Fiestas, then the Peugeot defending for the Fiesta behind. Back at the front, by the way, Matt Rosier still holding on to the race lead, but as we saw in race 1, the pace of Lee Scott towards the second half of the race is superior to the race leader, and he's caught up now to Rosier at about the same sort of time that he did in race 1. The trouble is, in race 1 they threw the checkered flag a little bit early. This time around though, let's hope we're going to be able to go right the way through to the end, and we'll get to see truly who comes out on top of this battle, whether Rosier can hang on or whether Lee Scott can maybe find a way through. They lap another one of the back marking Fiesta XR2Is and make their way back onto the pit straight once again, and Scott is there. Scott's with him now. He's in the slipstream. By my reckoning, there's time for at least 1, maybe 2 more laps. So Scott has got the opportunity here to try and go for it. Takes a nice wide line into Paddock Hill Bend, trying to carry as much speed through the corner as he can. And look at that, he's less than a car length behind the Peugeot now. And Matt Rosier surely will have to start defending before too much longer. Yes, jinks across to the inside line right at the last second and under braking down towards Druids. That means he washes out a bit wide on the exit though, and so Lee Scott gets himself alongside, does he? No, not quite. Not on the run down towards Graham Hill Bend. He's looking to the inside though. Rosier definitely on the ropes here as he tries to keep Lee Scott at bay. If this boils down to a championship battle between these two, that is a fight I'd buy a ticket for, because they are both very evenly matched. But as you can see, they race each other with respect, they race each other cleanly. It's firm racing, as it has to be in classic stock hatch racing, but they try and avoid contact wherever they can. And with these two drivers, they're very experienced indeed, and it will be great to see the two of them go toe-to-toe for the championship again this year. Onto the pit straight, Lee Scott is even closer this time in the slipstream as they come towards the start-finish line. Do we get 1 more lap out of this or not? Let's see. Yes, I think we will do. Up towards Paddock Hill Bend again. Outside line for Scott, snatches a break on the way in, but he's going to try and build the momentum up through the corner, maybe try and get up the inside towards Druids. Matt Rosier sees it coming though, moves over to the middle of the road to try and defend. Scott, will he go for a late lunge up the inside? The answer is no. And so Rosier still tenaciously hangs on to the race lead, but there's no doubt that Scott is faster, so much faster that he almost runs into the back of the Peugeot going through Druids. back down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. This race coming alive now in the final part of it, and Rozier's all out of shape over the curb. That was lucky. Let's hope that he wasn't on a final warning for track limits, because that could get him in all sorts of trouble. But there's really only one more overtaking opportunity, and that is into the next right-hander at Clearways, and Lee Scott isn't really close enough here. Going to be a bit of a drag race at the start. Oh, Matt Rozier runs wide. Scott will get in the slipstream. Now, are they going to see the checkered flag this time round? I think they will. Down towards the start-finish line they go for the final time. Matt Rozier versus Lee Scott, a drag race to the start-finish line, and Matt Rozier just hangs on to take the victory by 14 one-thousandths of a second over Lee Scott in second. Morgan third from Andy Philpotts and Ed Cooper. Martin Kayser keeps Marcus and Scott Ward at bay in 7th and 8th, and Daniel Fillingham and Steve Groom round out the top 10. Then it's Stuart Place and Paul Brock, Ryan Clark and Derek Rozier, whilst Paul Rozier is down in 15th place. As far as retirements go, we lost Craig Robertson, Jason Wood and Ben Ward, whilst Craig Emerson unfortunately failed to start either race.
Matt spoke to you before the race, you're slightly apprehensive, but Lee kept you honest all the way.
Yeah, I managed to get enough of a break again to make. He was catching me in the latter stages, but where I'd got a good gap built up, he couldn't quite get close enough to make a move.
Well, Lee, what a race. You can't get past him, can you?
I'm not catching him soon enough to give myself more opportunity to get past. That's the trouble.
Yeah, I saw that lunge up at Druids.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. Obviously, you can't risk it all in second place because that's still okay, but it was worth a shot.
Yeah, fantastic race. Well done.
Thank you.
Pete, what a fantastic third place in your Mark II Fiesta XR2. It's amazing how it keeps pace for these cars.
Yeah, it can do the job at certain tracks. Obviously, we struggle a little bit on the longer straights, but give me a few twisty bends and I'll be there.